Good morning. I don't know if it's turned out nice again, guys, because it's early. So it's too early to make a ruling, to make a decision. Dunk for victory. Hooray. I'm not hanging about for long, so you'll be glad to know this won't be a very long video, because I want to drink that coffee, you know what I'm saying? So, a few months ago, I remember saying to you guys about two hacks, journalists, journos, that focus specifically on Liverpool Football Club, that I consider to be in part of what I call the clique. I call it the clique, the LFC clique, the clique. A clique of journalists that all agree with each other, all appear on the same YouTube channels, podcasts. It's like a clique. Do you know what I mean? They all toe the line, they all do, you know what I mean? Because those people in the clique, in my opinion, desperately need to hold on to anything that they have when it's, meaning a foot in the door at the club. Now, a journalist, when someone says, yeah, if they don't say this, if they don't toe the line, they'll lose access. When I mention access, right, I'm talking about French, like that little bit more than your usual access. Because if a journalist writes something that's, controversial and bad and is causing the club a lot of problems, they're not going to go out of their way to help them. The same with content creators on YouTube or anything, right? So they'd never have me in there for it. I would never accept in a million years. I had invitations of Rick Parry, the former Liverpool chief executive. Oh, come in for a coffee. I don't think he said coffee. I think he said tea. Come in for tea and biscuits, Duncan. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck that, I'm not doing that. So when I say lose access, I don't mean they'd lose access to press conferences or the standard stuff, that journalists get access to. I mean they'd lose access to maybe players or certain people in the club outside and away from official press media things. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense, because it's a really big difference between standard access, like press conferences, and the access I'm referring to. Okay, so I call it the clique, right? Now there are certain journalists that I don't think are in the clique, and that would be Ornstein and Joyce, right? They do their own thing. They're not part of that clique. And I don't think they need to be part of that clique. You've then got Dave Maddock at the Mirror, who back in the day was fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say. But Dave Maddock at the Mirror, and I think it would be insulting to Dave to say that he's part of that clique. But he was once, extremely close to things at Liverpool Football Club, but the people that were there, the players that were there are no longer there. Do you know what I mean? So he does not have that kind of access that he used to have, right? But I don't think he's up he's not up there with Ornstein and Joyce, and I think it would be insulting to say he's part of this clique. And I enjoy reading what Dave Maddock has to say. I really do. Now, I said a few months ago, there's two people in this clique, two hacks. And I said that they started appearing everywhere, right? I mean, everywhere. And the thing is, when someone has an opinion about everything that's a journalist, right? Social media, the fans, whoever say, oh, have you seen what that journalist has said? You know him, don't you? Blah, blah, blah. Because some of these names we know because they used to work for some big publications. Used to work. Check the bios. If you look at the bios, it'll say formerly of, and they include the big names. Do you know what I mean? They include the big names, like, I don't know, just an example, a big name to me would be the Times, Liverpool Echo back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like, just big, like me, big, right? And they put more emphasis on what they used to do or who they used to write for than the little bits they're doing now, right? Think about that for a minute, right? So, see, videos like this are usually from my supporters and channel members, but I don't think it's too critical. Only because I like a quiet life, you know what I'm saying? So they put a lot of emphasis on what they used to be, a bit like Ryan Babel. Have you ever followed Ryan Babel's career since he left Liverpool? Now, all he talks about is Liverpool. Wasn't fucking interested in Liverpool when he played for Liverpool. But when he left Liverpool, he wanted to say, I played for Liverpool. You know what I'm saying? Right? So it's like that. It's that kind of thing, but in a different industry. Ryan Babel once watched one of my videos and said he wanted to bend me over and me up the while feeding me a cheeseburger. It's true. He once said that on social media. I've got the screenshot, yeah. Later on, he retracted and said, my man Duncan Hall, my boy Duncan Hall, giving some shine or something like that. Whatever the fuck that means. Giving some shine. It's what a window cleaner, isn't it? Anyway, that's I'm not young. I'm just a typical old white fat fucker. Anyway, so we don't need to talk about rival, but the point is, they like to let it be known who they were. So because that gives you like credibility, right? You might think, oh, right, okay, works for the Times, do you know what I mean? Presently, maybe, sounds good. But a long time ago, I'm not so sure about that. Because I tell you something now, guys. You can be a fantastic journalist, right? With contacts here, there, and everywhere. But those can soon change. And once those change, that's it, you've fallen out of importance. And I'm saying, like Dave Maddock, I'm not saying this to be mean towards Dave Maddock at all, but Dave Maddock used to be the fucking man. You know what I'm saying? Now, those players are not at the club anymore, so he hasn't got those contacts, right? And what you got to remember is that the club is owned and run, and the team managed by out-of-towners. You know what I mean? So that's quite funny, isn't it, when they start going about out-of-towners, because everyone running the club is an out-of-towner. But what I mean by that is people that are from the city are more likely to talk to friends and family and social events in the city. So out-of-town people, it's quite difficult to maybe get information from them. So things have changed a lot over the years, right, in terms of getting information. So a journalist that was shit hot years ago probably isn't now, right? So they're living off the formerly at. Do you know what I mean? Now, and there's nothing wrong with being proud. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with being proud, but they don't seem as proud to tell you where they're doing the little columns for 50 quid here and 50 quid there now. Do you know what I'm saying? So, why is this relevant? Because a few months ago I said to you there's two freelance, unemployed journalists in the clique that have got an opinion on everything at the moment. Nothing wrong with having an opinion on everything, is there? I'm here all the time with my opinions, right? But the difference is, because they are formerly of, right, when they say something, some people, oh, did you see? Because if someone really wants to believe something, you know what I mean? Like, I really want Jude Bellingham at Liverpool. Oh, that journalist there, he said it might happen one day. Wow, he used to work, do you know what I mean? That's how some fans are like. It's true. They will the news. They will what they want to believe. People that want to sell, the owners of Sell Liverpool Football Club, if they can get a whiff of anything, whether it's true or not, so this journalist said it, right? And he, in 2021, he got this right, okay? So, when these two particular hacks say things, the internet world, especially, will capitalise on it, will try to, if it falls in with their way of thinking. And I saw a comment about this last night, because somebody else noticed this as well. And I saw a comment about this last night, and the so-called top reds, or whatever you want to call them, they're aligned with that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So if all the top reds will be all the top reds to you, for example, whether you're a top red or not, would tell you that these journalists, oh, you should listen to them, Do you know what I mean? Because they're aligned with their opinions. And I know this all sounds deep and like, what does it matter? And I'm sure many of you don't really think about this sort of stuff. But it's very, very relevant. Because if someone is trying to stay relevant, not that they ever fucking were, but if they were trying to stay relevant, right, that means they've got to improve their visibility, right? So a journalist that needs to maintain or retain relevance and needs to be out there is going to talk more. And the more he talks, the more you might believe what's being said. And I'm not saying that these journalists deliberately or would intentionally mislead you. But I think they're a bit like clairvoyants. You know, you pay 20 quid or whatever to a clairvoyant. She don't know what the fuck's going on. Maybe he these days. Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. It's a form of entertainment. And you can't prove that they don't really know that you're going to have a motorbike accident 2 years from now if you're not careful, right? But it's kind of the same thing, I think. I think a lot of these journalists say things to you guys and me, to us collectively, based on just intuition and what they think. And they will say things like, it's my understanding, or I understand that, or my sources tell me. Do you know what I mean? And when they do that, right, I want you to do this for me, right? When you hear a journalist on a video or a podcast or whatever say, it's my understanding, right? Listen to the next few paragraphs and see at any time if he drops a disclaimer such as, but you never know. Just trust me on that, all right? I don't know. I don't know. I'll sit there and I go, right, I'm waiting for the disclaimer. There it is, all right? Now, maybe the disclaimer is true. Maybe someone has said, it's my understanding, because I say that to you guys. The difference is, I'm not a freelance, unemployed, failed journalist, right? Because I do not work in that industry. I do not need to be relevant. I have never been relevant. I don't want to be relevant. I just do what I do. And my motives are completely different. There's no pressure on me to do things that they need to do. So, I made a prediction a few months ago. This is why it says DKB on my cap, my t-shirts, my bath towels, my trainers. DKB. Dunk knows best. I made a prediction 2 or 3 months ago that these two particular journalists, right, were going to launch something or do something, right? Because from nowhere, they started appearing everywhere, right? And there's nothing wrong with appearing everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with starting a new project or trying to raise a few quid, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But if Paul Joyce, for example, or David Ornstein, it's too early for me, I can't remember his name. You know, I'm like, if they come out with news, whether we believe their articles or not, and because they're not always right, but things change in football, you think, oh, they know what they're talking about. I want to listen to what they've got to say. So if they were doing that every day, you'd think this is important. I've got to read it, right? But they don't do it every day, and that to me suggests credibility, because someone that knows every single thing probably doesn't, right? And someone that is whoring themselves around multiple YouTube channels and podcasts is trying to stay relevant, because someone that is at the top of their game doesn't need to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's nice for sometimes for journalists to appear occasionally from time to time, like Fabrizio Romano, for example. But some of them use every fucking day of the week they're there because they're trying to be relevant. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of that, right? But what if they're exaggerating things a little bit to get attention, right? Just to get attention, to mislead you, because I think there are journalists out there that do mislead you. And I think some of these, the industry is so fucked, right? If they've got a mortgage, if they've got a wife or husband, whatever, you know, under pressure, you know, we've got to pay this. You don't be upsetting Liverpool football. If you lose him as a friend, we're fucked, right? So if you've got that pressure on you all the time, that's why they do not write certain difficult questions at times, because they think I can't challenge. So the ones that you should pay more attention to are the ones that are the big guns that have got power. Do you know what I mean? Because they can say what they want within reason. They're not going to risk friendships and things. But this is why it's a click, because they've got to toe the line, you know, and I understand that. You know, it must be awful to be in a position like that. I'm not like that, you see. This is why I don't bother with sponsors and stuff like that, and just rely on, like, you guys, my supporters, that get me a beer or get me a coffee, or, you know, do you know what I mean? Because I would rather stay like that than once you start having financial relations with people of influence, they can dictate to you. and they have control over you. And I remember Liverpool Football Club, someone at Liverpool Football Club, I won't name him, but someone very high up at Liverpool Football Club, once trying to get me to work with the football club. And there would have been financial rewards in that, not envelope stuff with cash, but indirectly, you know, well, if you work with us, you know what I mean, we can, you know what I'm saying, guys? And this is what goes on. And then that, you know, if I'm making money through the club, rest assured I'm not coming on here and calling people out, because that money's going to go. So if you depend on it, you need to toe the line, right? So these two journalists, hacks, click, whatever you want to call them, probably really nice lads. I don't know them. Whenever I comment about a journalist, it's very important that you know that you will not see me like, I will banter, right? But I won't be mean, right? I won't be mean. I don't believe in that. You know, it's someone's son, someone's husband, someone's brother, someone's dad, whatever. I do not do that, right? So if I criticise a journalist, it's purely to do with their work. No different to any of you guys watching a video of mine going, oh, I thought that was a load of shite, or I don't like him, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But in reverse, I don't have a problem if you say I disagree with your video, don't agree with you, I think your content's poor. All that, I'd say, all right, it's your opinion. I ain't got a problem with that. No problem. But if you say you're just a fat fuck, you the fucking fuck, then you're gone, because that's disrespect. And I will not disrespect those journalists like that. But I will give an opinion about how they work and how they operate when I think it affects you guys. Because I know you guys listen to a lot of these journalists, and I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that we're making today. Anyway, so the prediction I made was that these two guys were going to be all over the place over the coming months, especially this summer. I said they're going to be all over. And that's because of changes in their circumstances to do with their employment, I thought. And since I made that claim, one of them's monetized, you know, Substack. I think it's called Substack, which is where you can send out like newsletters and get subscribers and they pay you. Nothing wrong with that. It's someone with an opinion. It's someone that was once formerly, you know, in the loop a little bit. Maybe they're a nice person. Maybe you enjoy this act. There is nothing wrong with them making a crust, right? But this would explain why they've had an opinion about everything. So if you say, well, journalist A has mentioned today Romeo Lavia, there must be something in it. Is there something in it? Or does he just want to gain attention for the Substack that he's promoting? Journalist 2, the other one, has now turned to YouTube, which you see, I think these journalists, all right, I think they look at how successful Fabrizio Romano is. Mo Salah, whether you like Romano or not, it's irrelevant. Fabrizio Romano is the most successful in terms of monetization, right? But the difference between Fabrizio Romano and these other people, I'm not referencing just the click, I'm talking about these other journalists, is that Fabrizio Romano will clickbait you. He will not lie to you, in my opinion. I never look at anything from Fabrizio Romano and think, oh, is he chancing it there, right? Whereas with these journalists, I do. I think Fabrizio Romano is legit. I sent out an email yesterday. If you look in the video description, right at the very bottom, there's a link you can join. It's free, and I send my thoughts out by email. Most days, I didn't on Monday because I had a really bad day at home. And nothing went wrong. I just had a lot of appointments. So Monday's email went out yesterday. And I have got a very busy morning again today. I just remembered I got a couple of appointments in the next half hour or so. So yeah, I was talking about Fabrizio Romano, and information I received about Fabrizio Romano recently about why or how he manages to get so much stuff, right? So, and that's detailed in yesterday's email, which you'll be able to see if you sign up. Even though it's gone out, you can look in the archive, something like that. So what I'm trying to say was, don't knows best, because I was right. There's no trophy. I don't get a medal, or I need a chest to pin it on, to be honest. But what I mean is, my intuition was at the time to myself. I have these I run Cop Talk, right? I do Cop Talk. It's my baby, right? And people trust me, right? And support me, and it's my job to look after them because they put their trust in me. So when I think to myself something, I think, it's a bit suspicious, isn't it? Where is it? Why has he got a fucking opinion about everything right now? So much not right. there's a change there. Be careful, Duncan. Be careful with what he says over the coming months. I wonder if he's lost his job. I wonder if he's left where he was working. That means he needs to find an alternative revenue stream. Fucking hell, that's difficult. You know what it's like, don't you? Because you're going to have to get some attention. How can you get some attention? Oh, the transfer window's coming up, you know. Oh, let's talk about Drew Bellingham every fucking day of the week, or Romeo Lavia, or Thuram and all that. Make it free at first, and then maybe 5%, 10% might subscribe and pay. It's a few bob, like, you know what I mean? Be careful, Duncan. So when I have those conversations with myself, I then share them with my members on the Cop Talk VIP members website, or on wherever the membership is. I don't fucking know how it even works these days, and I run it. And you guys, because I look out for you, whether you believe me or not, it's up to you. But as you know, it annoys me because I know I'm right. I know for a fact I'm right, and I've been proven right. But I want to be very, very, very specific with you. There is nothing wrong with anybody in the world, whether they are a professional journalist or a blogger or a YouTuber or a whatever they are, whether they're a Liverpool fan or whether they don't give a shit. There's nothing wrong with anybody earning a crust from something they do. Me personally, I prefer people that are passionate, right? So there's a YouTuber called Adam Naylor, which I've mentioned many times before. I consider him a friend. I don't know him in real life. I've only known him through Cop Talk. And he's got a YouTube channel and he's grown it to 1,000 subscribers, and I've pushed that, and I want to see him succeed. And I want to see him succeed, and he will succeed, and I'll tell you why. Because he's a Liverpool fan, and his heart's in it. And that's all he's bothered about. Passion first. He's not even thinking about making money. When I started Cop Talk, I didn't start Cop Talk and think I want to make some money. I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? And through passion, if you are passionate about something, and you are authentic and genuine, people will support you. And then it can become a full-time job, which has been for me for a quarter of a century. But if I started back in the day in the 90s and said, right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make money, it's not the right thing. Now, if these people want to make money, there's no problem with that. It's the tactics that they use to earn the money. And it upsets me when I see you guys say, oh, did you see what this journalist has said? And I think to myself, that journalist, I don't think he's telling you the truth. I think he's promoting himself. There's a journalist in particular, that came out, Ben Jacobs, I think his name is, with the Liverpool, when Liverpool was apparently up for sale back in November. I mean, it completely lifted his career, if you want to call it that, but, he's got opinion about every fucking thing now, because on the back of I've got a bit of information, because everyone was so desperate to hear news about whether Liverpool might be sold or not, that they were like, oh, we've got to follow this guy, and he starts going up like this. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just don't believe some of these people, guys. I don't believe them. So you could turn and say, nah, you're just bitter for some reason. Well, if I'm bitter for some reason, why am I telling you that David Ornstein is a god, Paul Joyce is a god, you know what I mean? Fabrizio Romano. So I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying there's a few of them scattered around there. I even said Dave Maddock is neither, click or up there, so it's not to do with I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't like any of these people. What? Because they've had a go at me. One of them's had a go at me over the years. I won't mention who he is by name. Works for a very, very big, newspaper in England. Not one of the tabloids, one of the proper newspapers. He's run his mouth at me before. But that doesn't bother me. It doesn't mean by default that I then have a problem with that person, because that person made a controversial career choice back in the day, and people were fucking hammering him, and I actually wrote an editorial sticking up for him and explaining why. Do you know what I mean? Even though he'd ran his mouth at me and been very intimidating towards me. I don't work like that. Yes, you treat people out there, treat you. If someone's good with me, I'll be good with them. If someone's with me, I'm not going to beat a come back or whatever. I'm just going to go, all right, fair enough, it's fine. Yeah? So it's not how I weren't brought up like that, guys. I can tell you right now, there isn't a single person in the Liverpool FC fan base or community I have a problem with, even though some of them are the most disgusting, vile people in the world that have done horrific things to me and said horrific things about me and horrific things about my children when their grandfather died and stuff like. Even though they said the most horrific, disgusting things about my mother when she died, I have never in my life shown any bitterness towards them, because that would make me as bad as them. So they've got to do what they've got to do. There's no agenda here. I'm telling you this because, or I'm telling you the video contents about this, because what I said a few months ago I thought was right, and it was only a caution thing. It's like, I don't care who you watch, who you read. I don't care if you want to support someone financially. It's none of my business. My opinion is irrelevant. But if you're someone that's good with me, I just want to give you a heads up and say, look, be cautious of that particular journalist, because they're trying to raise their profile. So they may say some things that are not true. I don't want you to buy into it. Pay attention to the ones that are not whoring themselves around left, right and centre, and that are not selling you anything, because they're more likely to be genuine. It's the same with the Twitter ITKs. I'm sure there's some Twitter ITKs out there that... I don't believe there's one Twitter ITK, right? I'm putting this out there right now, right? And it is my job on a daily basis to watch everything in the fucking world. I have got computers all around me at my desk, right? And I do not rely or look at anything that these people say. The only times I ever see what they say is when someone retweets it that I maybe follow, or someone comments, right? But I'm sure that there's some nice ones out there, you know, that are just, they maybe want to feel special, all right? Do you know what I mean? They maybe just want to feel special, or something's missing. I don't know. But then you can see the ones that are constantly promoting stuff, club merch, betting affiliates. It costs nothing to run a Twitter account, but they're just capitalizing on making revenue. You know, and if you're putting out articles and sending them to your blog, and your blog's got zillions of adverts on, you know, you're increasing commissions and revenue, blah blah blah. But Dunk, you just said you don't have a problem with anyone making revenue. I don't. But if it's misleading you, and then you're going off talking about, you never guess what. It's about the way that these people operate. That's it, you know. And I know if I, you know, went back to my studio and put my green screen up on the wall and made it all fancy and wore a brand new Liverpool top, they can fit me these days, right? Wore a brand new Liverpool top, had the background, you know, fancy fucking graphics in my thumbnail, clickbait titles and that. I know for a fact I'd get tens of thousands of fucking views. But I don't want that. I'd rather be stood here with that shitty picture. Many of you know the reason that picture's there, right? And those of you that do, that's because you're part of something, you're part of community, right? So you know when that picture changes, something big's happened in my life, right? So I would rather, and I wrote this in my email yesterday, I would rather have a couple of thousand views on a video, be authentic, and when someone comes in, recognise that name and think, oh, that's Dave from wherever, you know, oh, he's got that going on at the moment, and because he emailed me about that recently. Dave, you all right, Dave? How are you doing? When I do a live stream, if someone hasn't been in for a while, I'll go, hey, John, how's it going? John, I feel like I haven't seen you for a while, mate. Because I remember John, because John's important to me, Dave's important to me, you're important to me. If you've got 20,000 fucking idiots, you know, gullible people, that, you know, I see these people, sometimes they come in here and they'll go, there's nothing in this video, but, and it's like, well, I just imagine them sat there with the jeans round their ankles, knocking one out for a bit of transfer news, you know what I mean? So give me 2,000 views or 2,000 viewers on a video of people that have got something there, the majority of them, because some of the percentage will be a percentage of watching because they don't like me, that's fine. How are you doing? All right, yeah? Oh, it's in your head. Okay? So I'd rather have that 2,000 views of people that have got something here than 20,000 views of people that are going, I wonder if this is Chowdown. This is very interesting, isn't it? He used to work for the Liverpool Echo, you know. Do you know what I mean? Give me the 2,000 cool people versus 20,000 fucking divs, you know, licking windows and stuff like that. I'd rather have that any day of the week. You know what I mean? And that's what we've got here. So I'm sorted as I am on here with you guys. I like it. But I've got your back, you know what I'm saying? I've got your back. Every video on here really should be transfer related. You know, hey guys, you'll never, but in the headline, you'll never believe this. Fuck, you know that people will click up, but what's the point of misleading people? Do you know what I mean? Well, that's the difference. Because the people that are deliberately misleading you, and I watched another Liverpool channel the other day for about 30 seconds, because some of you guys told me to watch it. I was like, all right, come on, let's have a look then. And it's all clickbait. The difference between those people is they don't give a fuck about you. I do. They don't give a fuck about you. All they give a fuck about is that. All right? So, you can be a content creator, you can be a journalist, you can be whatever you want. Right? You can earn as much money as you want. I ain't got a problem with that. But don't mislead people. And that's the bit that annoys me. And I have made this video because I know I'm right. Them two journalists, a few months ago, I said we're going to see a lot of them, and we don't normally see a lot of them because previously maybe they were in a better position financially. We're going to see a lot of them over the summer because they need to raise their profile. And to raise one's profile, you either need to be clickbaity or like with claims or controversial. If I come in here and call everyone fucking out, I can guarantee you the figures go through the roof, because that's what I used to do in my 20s. And I was a little fucker, you know. But now I'm nearly 50. If I make it to 50, I'm a granddad, so I ain't got time for that bullshit and drama. You know, back in the day, I used to fucking tease them all the time. You know what I mean? But now I'm not bothered about that. You know, so just be careful with these fuckers. That's all. Don't care about anyone making revenue. I make revenue online. It's how I survive, right? Do you know what I mean? It's what I do. But I do it for the love of it. And I don't need to deploy tactics to mislead you, all right? So I think it's funny when I see a journalist, formerly of whatever, creating YouTube channels, sat in a bedroom with a pair of socks behind. No, it's not like that really, but it's like they all want to be Fabrizio Romano. That's what I think. I think I was going to mention that earlier actually, and I probably went off on, you know, and I'm like, it's fucking boiling here already, and it's 20 to 9 in the morning. I think they want to be Fabrizio Romano. That's what I think it is. They don't want to be YouTubers. They don't want to be like a fan account or anything like that. They just want to give their opinions, and there's nothing wrong with them giving their opinions. It's harmless. I listened to one yesterday and I was like, mate, fuck off. NITK could have said that. Do you know what I mean? So, but what they're doing is they're seeing Fabrizio Romano be extremely successful. They work in that industry, remember? And imagine going to university all them years, or whatever they fucking did, or once being a really important journalist for a top publication, but because their industry's fucking collapsed, they're having to readjust and redo things, right? Yeah? So now, they see Fabrizio Romano. I guarantee, look at it from how they would feel, right? You're in that industry and you're like, well, fucking hell, I'm writing for this poxy fan site now, fuck me, 30 quid. Jesus fucking Christ. Look at Fabrizio Romano. How many views has he got on that video? Let me just put that in. Fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? And they're seeing that. And they're seeing the I mean, you know, the love that Fabrizio, you know, like, Fabrizio must feel very important. But I don't think he's a knob like that. I don't think Fabrizio Romano's like, hey, look at me. Do you know what I mean? Itsy bitsy do. Hey, shut up in your face. Do you know that song? Shut up in your face. Spotify. Shut up in your face. I don't think he's like that. I don't think he is a journalist that's like, hey, look at me. He's not like that. He's just fucking good. Yeah? Do you know what I mean? And I think these journalists are on their ass and they're like, right, we're going to build my fucking career up here. Romeo Lavia, yeah, well, it's my understanding. Now, don't get me wrong. Something might change, but it's my understanding. And then all of the fucking Liverpool fans, all the divs watching them other channels I'm telling you about, they're retweeting and pushing it, and before you know it, the audience is building. They're just Fabrizio Romano wannabes. That's what they are, Fabrizio Romano wannabes. What am I? I'm just a fucking short fat bloke from Yorkshire, mate. I'm an out-of-towner. I couldn't give a fuck what any of them lot think either. Do you know what I mean? And I know I always say, do you know what I mean? I don't know why I do that. It's a pause, isn't it? You see, the more you speak up like this, that's when it rattles the cages. I can predict things, mate. And I'm usually right, DKB, hooray. I can predict things, mate. If they get wind of this video, for example, the haters will come for me again on Twitter, probably today or tomorrow or something like that. You know what I mean? But for 25 years, they've been trying to take me down. When I say take me down, you know, the website or whatever. I'm all right. I'm happy with my little gig, my bubble with you guys. I wouldn't have it any other way in the world, honestly. I mean, I'd like to earn more money. Fucking hell, of course I would. I'd love to be in a better position financially. Absolutely. But I don't deploy those tactics, and I won't. I won't do it. And I won't put loads of adverts on the website because it ruins the viewer's experience. I had a company contact me on here the other day. 2 people, very recently. One, would you be interested in taking investment in your YouTube channel? Financial investment, thousands of pounds, thousands of pounds, right? And I had another one, a big betting company, right? We want to offer you this, not a normal affiliate thing. You know, we know you've been in the game a while, but what you call a retainer, right? Where they pay you, I don't know, a couple of grand a month, 3 grand, 4 grand, I don't know. Back in the day when I used to do all the betting commissions, back in the day, from gambling alone, you were making, the website, Cop Talk, moi, was doing about 10 grand a month in betting commissions. Seriously, guys. But, I don't know. I will not do any of these things, because if I suddenly agree to work with a betting company, I don't give a fuck about the issue to do with like, oh, you shouldn't be promoting gambling, because everyone, you know, it's not my job to be a government or to counsel people as to how they should run their lives. It's up to people whether they want to gamble or not, and whether they're responsible or not. I can't comment for them people. It's not because I'm like, oh, I don't want to push gambling links. No. What it means is, if someone starts paying you money financially, like I said earlier in this video, whether it's indirectly or directly, then you have to operate in a particular way. I can't call myself independent or unofficial if I'm working with the club and have some kind of access with the club. So these you know, websites and accounts or whatever that say, oh, 100% independent, it's like, and here we are, I've got an exclusive interview with, do you know what I mean? It's like bollocks, absolute bollocks. If I agree to work with one of these companies pushing products on here, gambling things or whatever, they'll say, right, we'll give you X amount of money a month, which I'd go, oh, fucking hell, that's all right, that, pay for this, I can get a new laptop, because I want a MacBook, you know, I want a new MacBook, right? So might only be a grand or something like that, and in the first one I go, I could get one every fucking week if I agree a deal with these, right? But then what happens? Oh, Duncan, we just watched that video you did, and you shouldn't really use those words, or you shouldn't really say that, because we're partnered with the club, and this is what they do. Fuck that, right off, say what I fucking want, shove your laptop up your ass. Yeah. Right, guys, I've drunk my coffee. I was going to go outside and drink my coffee. I'm going to have another coffee. Right. Anyway, so the reason for the video was not to be bitchy towards any of the clique or any journalists, because as you'll have seen in the video, there was balance, because I singled out journalists and praised them. And I'm not saying it's wrong to generate revenue. These guys, they provide a service, and that's up to them, and they can do what the fuck they want. No problem. Twitter ITKs can push their gambling links and merchandising links, do whatever they want, not to do with me. My point is how these people might tell a few porkies to gain a bit of attention. That's my point. Right. Can you tell it? Oh, dear me. You know when I say to you I've got a bad memory? Did you just see me look over there, and did I look a bit lost? Go back 10 seconds, right? Because I looked over there. I'm like, why am I looking over there? I want a spoon for my coffee. My coffee! All right, Remy, we're finished now. You can come in. Yes. Right, I'm off, guys. What's on the agenda today? I'll be sending out my email at some point. It was going to be about this, really. About, you know, Fabrizio Romano wannabes. You're going to bang that door, aren't you? I don't know if I don't know. I don't like talking about people, to be honest with you. It's going to go bang. Oh, yeah. So I don't know what today's email is going to be about. Did I just put sugar in it? Well, not sugar sweet. No. I think we'll have a live stream today. Would you one? What day is it? Oh, it's Wednesday, isn't it? It's Wednesday. Okay. I've got a couple of appointments in less than 15 minutes. What's happening on Friday? Blood test. Oh yeah, blood test. my friend. Right, okay. No, we'll do a live stream this afternoon. I do not know whether we'll be doing Saturday night streaming on Saturday. Because I do have someone in my life at the moment, you know what I'm saying? What? Yeah, I do, yeah. I've got a new friend, a little Spanish friend, you know what I'm saying? And last Saturday we went out for cocktails and we had a good night. So this Saturday, if she wants to do that again, I'm afraid she's coming first. There's a joke in there somewhere. She won't be coming first. No, I don't know what I'm doing at the weekend. I mean, I might see her before then. Fucking hell. I might see her on Saturday night, I don't know. But just at this stage of our friendship, it's important that I spend some time doing some things with her and not just locking myself in the lounge with you guys on a Saturday night, which I'll be honest with you, I absolutely fucking love, as you know. So this is not long term, guys. Which what I mean, she might be. I don't know if she plays the cards right, maybe. But what I mean is, going forward, if something develops, you know what I'm saying, then we'll have to have Saturday night streaming. And in fairness to her, she said a long time ago, she said. I said, oh, I won't, Saturday night, I wouldn't do the streams on a Saturday night, babe, if me, and she was like, oh no, I'll be sat with you, do you know what I mean? So, as long as she thinks Crank the Flange is okay, then that's fine. Crank the Flange, I was going to get the Crank the Flange cup out, but it's in the dishwasher. If you don't know what Crank the Flange is, you've not been to one of the streams, have you? In fact, if you go to www.olympictears.com, you'll be able to have a look at the Crank the Flange merchandise from Seano. Yes, I love Seano. Seano's mint. And if you're thinking, why has he got a domain name called Olympic Tears? This is because one of the LFC journalists, Chris Bascom, recently wrote an article, or a few months ago wrote an article referring to the fans maybe that didn't like the owners or something, and used the saying Olympic Tears. It was inciting those people, which is what James Pearce does as well. And we were talking about this on a stream one night, and Shaun was like, have you seen what he said, Olympic Tears? And that's why I bought the domain name, olympictears.com, for Shaun, as a joke. I must have been pissed. And it roots to his stuff. So if you'd like to put a smile on Seano's face, go to olympictears.com. But hang on a minute. Family first, right? Fuck charity, family first, right? If you like this video, please thumbs up the video, all right? If you've got a small penis, if you're bitter, if you sat there going, oh, if you are one of these journalists, make sure you thumbs down the video, you know what I'm saying? Let the people speak, let the people see if they, agree with me or not. I don't know if you see the thumbs ups or downs, I don't know, I see them. My videos are usually, a bad video would be 96% upwards, 96.5, that's a low one for me, 96.5 thumbs ups. That's usually when I'm usually talking about something controversial. So if I'm talking about top reds, if I'm talking about, I don't even want to say the next word, because every time I mention this word, they keep restricting my videos. But if you can think about where Stephen Gerrard is at the moment, that area, every time I mention that area in one of my videos on here, YouTube keep restricting my videos. I appeal and they reject. What's that all about? Do you know what I'm saying? There's nothing bad said in those videos. So if I mention one of those topics, a subject that maybe the loony lefties, I'm talking extremists, there's nothing wrong if you're on the left, right? I've only ever voted Labour in my life, I'm just saying. I won't vote for them now though, but I won't vote for other shower either. It's usually, if I mention something that might upset a particular type of people, they usually thumbs down the videos big time. So a bad video for me is about 96, 97%. Most of the time my videos hit 99%, 100, so we're good with that. So yeah, fuck Shaun, olympictears.com. Thumbs up my video, please. Leave me a comment. Did you find the video informative? I say this because the videos like this are usually what I would keep for the members and the supporters of my channel, for example, which you can become one by clicking on join or reading the video description. Because I like to be, I like to have a quiet life kind of thing, like, you know what I mean? But are you all right with this kind of content, or is it like no? Actually, I think you'll be all right with it, because I think no. We only want to know about who we're signing next. Well, I think they watch other people. Do you know what I mean? You see, here we talk about real people, like Liverpool supporters. I mentioned two of the boys yesterday, right at the very end of my video, that are going, Jay and Matthew, that are going through horrific times. Jay's just lost his mum. Matthew's daughter's just been diagnosed with leukemia, right? So we talk about Liverpool fans because they are part of the club. Or as Rafa would say, the club. I can hear a phone ring. It's like one of them thrillers, you know, like in the house where you go to the phone ring. Where's that? And you go and find it and then smash it in the fucking head. Shouldn't be a phone ringing in my house. All mine are turned off. Anyway, what was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. I don't know. I was saying something about whether you like my video. I don't know, what was I talking about? See, it's because that... Can you hear it? Maybe that is my phone ringing. I'm gonna have to go. I can't remember what I was saying. You know, I think the people watching my videos are, you know, people that want all opinions. I was talking about Matthew and Jay. Real people. It's the club. Rafa Benitez, hey, for sure, the club. You know, that kind of stuff. It's the club, it's what's going on, it's the journalists, it's the coverage, it's everything, right? It's not just about transfer news. But if you don't like these kind of videos, please just tell me, all right? I reckon that is my phone ringing. It must be. I've got an appointment, and I reckon they're here early. Well, they'll have to wait another 6 minutes. All right, guys, yeah. What I mean is, if you don't like these videos, tell me. All right, so say, I'm not really bothered about journalists. I make my own opinions. Well, first of all, I want you to make your own opinions anyway. I never pass, you know, that you must think this. I don't do that. So it's ringing again. I'm going to go. You always must make your own opinions. I'm just giving mine. Okay, I got to go and go and see what's going on. Sorry about the way I abruptly ended the video. Lost my... That phone was ringing. It was stressing me out. Do you know what? It was someone ringing me to tell me I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like, just fucking come and press the doorbell like anybody else. Fucking raging. Seriously. I know there's an appointment. What was I saying? Yeah, let me know if you think the video is shite or if it's good. If you like this kind of insight and the thoughts and the predictions and what's going on and stuff. A lot of stuff goes on in the background you don't know about. Olympictears.com. Charity begins at home, you know what I'm saying? Thumbs up. Drop me a comment. Your comments are the most important thing, right? The thumbs up, yeah, fine. But the comments, I love reading your comments. You know, when I'm sat outside, I'm going to sit outside with my coffee now. I love to read your comments. I really do, guys. Whether you're on the same page as me or not. And if you really love me, press the love heart, because that puts a big smile on my chubby cheeks. All right, speak to you in a bit. All right.